So, I filmed a part 2 of this a very long time ago, and I never edited it. And rather than dig through all that old footage that needs to be edited, I figured it was just easier to refilm it in a single take. So, this is my laser cutter. I'm powering it off of a Wii power supply from a Wii with a broken disk drive that someone was throwing away. This provides 12 volts with more than enough amps, and I just kind of shoved it in here. I have lights. I have those connected up to the hotbed terminal, so those can be turned on and off. And then again, the laser's hooked up to the hot end. I probably should have reversed those for various reasons, but they both pull so little current it doesn't matter. It works pretty well. I've cut cardboard with it. It cuts cardboard very slowly. This hole here was from when I engraved clear acrylic. I was really trying to cut the acrylic, but it didn't cut it, but it engraved it. And it engraved it, it left a deep hole in it, which made it really easy to finish off the cutting. I actually ended up using a drill. I took a drill with a small drill bit, and there was that hole there, so the drill bit didn't slide because it just went right into the hole, and I drilled probably like 40 holes around it, and then I just kind of snapped it off. And because that hole was probably about halfway through the thickness of the acrylic, maybe a quarter of the way, either way, because that hole was deep enough through the acrylic, it was like a score, and it actually broke pretty cleanly. I mean, it's not ideal, but given how puny this laser diode is, it actually worked surprisingly well, and if I had done multiple passes, I might have gotten it. But it smells really bad when you laser acrylic, and rather than deal with it more, I just figured it was easier just to drill it out and snap it. Which brings us to some of the problems with this machine. It doesn't have any cover nor ventilation, which are two big, like, safety and quality of life concerns. Because even though this laser diode is relatively puny, it's still powerful enough to cause serious vision damage. I mean, especially if you looked at it directly, which is highly unlikely, but even from off-axis, it's not great. And then if I were to want to work with acrylic or whatever, anything other than wood or cardboard, this machine doesn't have any ventilation. And the acrylic fumes are extremely harmful, so even though I can open up a window and turn on a fan, it's still not the same thing as having true ventilation. And actually, at least with the clear acrylic, I left the room while it was running because I figured all the fumes would go out, and I came back in and I'm like, oh, it doesn't smell bad at all. I'm like, that's great. And I pick it up, and all the fumes come out because basically a lot of the laser radiation went through the acrylic. So the actual cutting was done on the bottom side, and it was like all the fumes were trapped underneath the sheet of acrylic, and when I lifted it up, all the fumes escaped. So, clear acrylic is especially not ideal. Black acrylic, I imagine it would not cut the bottom of it, it would actually cut the top of it, and it might cut that just better in general. And that would be a different story with the fumes, because I could just leave the room. But overall, it's been a good machine. I've done a few pieces of cardboard, a sheet of acrylic. It's not hugely powerful. I don't have a ton of stuff I need to cut or engrave, but when I do, it's very useful, and I'm very glad I have it. And given the fact that it was mostly built with parts I already had, such as this frame that was supposed to be for a 3D printer, it was a lot better than just scrapping these projects, because I wasn't going to get the Z-axis working without a ton more money, and I was not doing that. I probably would have doubled my investment if I wanted to get the Z-axis working properly in the 3D printer. And then I had the laser diode because I used to just strap it to a 3D printer, and it's much nicer to have a bigger volume and a dedicated machine. Because I used to never use it. I used it like once, and then I was like, this is too much of a pain to take on and off every time I want to use it. But this is much better. Yeah, that's all. Bye.